of the instability of the world right now. But the upside is that you can, like I say, you can get the client to take as much of the burden as possible. It leaves you with just, okay, well, you go out, I'll pick up the gas for you, you give me the money, I'll bring you back the change, and then when that's done, I go out and get gas for you again. So you're never worried about that, so that's just good business sense to do that. And then everybody only burns what they use. You know what I mean? Now, you'll have your own emergency can with you at all times, but you might, instead of having, like I typically go through two of those a month, gas cans a month, right, for my just whippersnippers and stuff. That's what I was going through. But by getting everybody else to do that, maybe what happens is I only maybe go through 3 tanks for the whole season. You know what I mean? Of my own. When specialty stuff pops up, even with the chainsaw and whatever. So there's all kinds of like little tips like that on how to run the business so that you're always making money. Getting clients that, okay, it's 15 minutes or half an hour to cut their grass, okay, but they live far away. It's not worth it, right? You're better off to get clients that will keep you there longer. So try to get the clients that needs 4 to 6 hours to do their yard work every week. Try to get those clients so you can cut down on the amount of clients and traveling. Every time you turn the key on a vehicle, you're burning gas, right? And you can only charge people for traveling so much, right? Then they'll get somebody else, right? So there's tips like that, that do go a long way. And I'm gonna start doing a series on how to advice. Are you going to get rich? Well, it depends on your clients. It depends what you charge them. It depends what you're doing. In the yard work thing, there's money to be made, and it's easy. It's very easy to expand and get employees and stuff like that later on. But in the beginning, it's kind of hard, right? So you have to get yourself going, get all your client base, and then get the equipment. And once you get the equipment, then you can start bringing in employees. And so let's say you've got 4 whippersnippers. You take 2, the other guy takes 2. Okay, you don't get 4 employees going with whippersnippers at once typically. Why? Because you need the backup things. Stuff breaks down, whatever. Always have the redundancy, but at least all that equipment's working every day. So let's say you have enough equipment to do 4 yards in one day. Okay, but you yourself can only do 2 of those yards. Well, the equipment, you get your other employee to go and use, but you got to find them, reliable employees that are not going to just break your equipment, right? So there's that problem too. So, but yeah, I think just the advice that I never got was how to start a business, and stuff like that. And I think a lot of, especially the younger people, with the way the world's working, working for yourself there is no easy. There is no easy. The good paying jobs are disappearing really fast. But the labor stuff, the good news is most, especially the younger generation, I'm not picking on them just because I'm older, but they typically don't want to work any labor. They all want to be social media influencers, right? And I understand that, because if you can make money, millions of dollars doing that, yeah, sure, why not, right? But there's no free lunch, guys. There's no free lunch. Most people are never going to hit that. Most people are never going to be able to do that. So they're putting a lot of effort into something that may or may not materialize, right? So that if you buy a whippersnipper and you spent $200 and some odd dollars to $300 on a good whippersnipper, that if that's the only tool you own and you say advertises as such and such whippersnipping, all I do is whippersnipping, I can guarantee you can charge $25 to $30 an hour doing that right away anywhere you are. And the zipper line's cheap and the gas is cheap. You start off with one whippersnipper. After about maybe a month, maybe 2 months, you buy the second one. You have the backup, right? And just hope that buy the first one new, buy the second one new, buy the third one new. Well, the third one, if you can get a deal on a used one, that's not too bad, and it's like $60, $100, whatever, and you're going to earn its keep in one day. Yeah. Take the risk. If you get 2 days out of it, you win. You know what I mean? If you get 2 years out of it, you really win. If you get 20 years out of it, you freaking laugh. You know what I mean? I like seeing high return on investment. So cheaper tools first, more expensive tools later. Like, for example, when I get into my bigger chainsaws, well, bigger chainsaws require bigger jobs, right? But I'm one of those guys that I know when I get my mid chainsaw, it's already got trees with its name on it. So it maybe not enough to earn that saw back right away, but within the season, without expanding any clients, I probably would earn that saw back in 1 year. Now, that said, you know, as soon as people see that I have a big saw, like, I already know an area. It's just, you know, I'd have to, you know, either give my name out or whatever. But I know my area. As soon as I get the bigger saw, like I say, people will be just coming up to me. Hey, I heard you got a big saw. Can you do this kind of a job? Can you do that kind of job? And then you can charge bigger money. And that's my goal, is to charge bigger money, right? So when I pick up the big chainsaw, I'm going to be between $35 an hour, okay, to start, because my pricing is going to change as I get going. $35 an hour for small chainsaw stuff, $60 an hour for big stuff. Mixed will be $60 an hour. And if I'm climbing anything, a ladder or a tree, whatever, if I can get away with it, I'm charging $100 an hour. Now you'd say, well, you're going to make a killing doing that. No, I'm not. Because when you have a $1,500 saw in your hand, okay, you got to put, out of that $100, at least $20 away for repairs. Chain, you're going to go through chains like crazy. You're going to go through, you know, files, stuff like that. You're going to go through, there's going to be regular maintenance to that thing. So right off, you've now, from your $100 now, you're down to $80, right? Now, that said, let's say the tree's kind of, you know, kind of tricky, and you fall it the wrong way, takes your saw with it, your saw goes flinging into the bush, bouncing off of trees, and it's smashed to crap. Now you're out $1,500, right? So you probably would have had to put another 20 aside for that, the eventuality that you're going to lose a saw or two from time to time, and hopefully you don't get injured in the process. Okay, so that leaves you with $60. Okay, that's not too bad. Not really. There's fuel costs, so maybe you burn, you're not going to burn $5 an hour even with a big saw. Maybe you might burn $5 an hour. Okay, so you're at $55. Okay, not too bad. Oh, did you not hear about the tax man? Oh, there you go. There goes 50% right there. You know what I mean? So $100 an hour, you're really only going to see about 50 of it, right? At best. At 35 an hour, you're going to see, maybe 25 of it at best, right? Or 20 of it at best, because, like, everything scales down. So we're talking big saws, big money. You know what I mean? Because, like a saw that's like $300, you can replace that after a couple of jobs. One that's $1,500, it's going to take you quite a few jobs to be able to pay that back. One that's a saw that's $2,000, $3,000. You break that, you better have the money ready to replace it, because you're probably going to have two of them if you require saws that are that expensive, right? So like I say, the redundancy of equipment and how to invest in the equipment properly. And new versus used, yeah, you always get a good deal on the used stuff, but once I would just buy new right from the get-go. It takes longer to recoup, but you know what you're getting, and you typically have a warranty or whatever. And it's the peace of mind that you get. So yeah, it takes longer to make it back, but you're going to get it back faster than dealing with a saw that, okay, you got a good deal on the saw, but your third time you use it, it breaks, and it was a really expensive saw. So now you're down, like $1,000 instead of $3,000. But now you're out of work until that saw is fixed, which, if you don't have the time to fix it yourself, which is often the case for me, like, I don't have time to work on stuff, and I don't really have a place to really work on stuff, right? Like, I don't have a workshop. Yeah, the garage is there, but the thing's so crowded. I don't really have a place to do that stuff, nor do I have the time. It's not about the ability, I just don't have the time. When it's go time, I want new stuff, and I want redundant, so when one breaks, I can drop it off at the shop, And, you know, there's maintenance fees and stuff like that, but you charge for the maintenance fees and all that. So, like I say, out of $100 an hour, well, maybe you don't lose half of it to taxes, but you're going to lose quite a bit to taxes because you're going up into a new, you know, a new tax bracket, right? So you can see how that's how I'm starting. But soon it'll be like, okay, a tree like that will be $250 a tree, regardless. Okay, so if it takes me 20 minutes, half an hour to deal with